I just hit something I didn't want to hit. All right, so listen. So tonight we'll be talking about how to get your youth athlete to run faster in 30 days or less without interfering with your schedule, your current schedule, without leaving the backyard, all of those good things, okay? So you guys stay with me here. We're gonna go jump into this right now, okay? So the main promise is in this training, I'm going to show you how using my Speed to Dominate system will help your kids start to run faster in 30 days or less, okay? All right, I have to do something really quick. And I think this is going to change our screen here. Hopefully it doesn't, but it probably will. It did. Okay. No, not a problem. Just give me just 2 seconds, and we'll get this back together. Okay, 2 seconds, we'll get this back together. All right, so you can see. All right, so everybody should be able to see everything all good tonight. All right, good. So we're good. All right, so that's the main promise, okay? Now, I got to give a disclaimer, okay? Disclaimer is this. I'm not telling you that you're going to have a world-class sprinter in 30 days from this one trainer, but I can promise you that what I'm teaching you tonight has worked for my athletes that I coach. It's worked for me, for my 14 kids that I help get Division I colleges scholarships, and it's worked for the 5 kids, including my daughter who got ranked top 10 in the nation, all right? So I'm teaching you the same thing, okay? So this training is for you if your child is experiencing some issues with running with correct form, or if you have some concerns about whether they could get it right, or if you had other coaches that couldn't help, or maybe you're doing something that's not really working, but you know something's wrong, but you're doing something that's not really working, all right? Or your kid seems to have low confidence because they aren't able to keep up with the pack, okay? All right, so I'm going to play a game. We're going to play a game real quick, okay? We're going to play a quick little game, really quick. I need you to use your Twitter fingers for this one. I want to know if you can relate to any one of these, okay? So this is how it goes. If you can relate to just one of these, all right, you're going to put me in the chat, M-E. You're going to put me in the chat, all right? If you can relate to more than one of these, you're going to put ouch in the chat, okay? You're going to put ouch in the chat if you can relate to more than one of these. If you can relate to one of these, put a me. More than one, you're going to put ouch, okay? More than one, you're going to put ouch. One, put me. All right, here we go. All right, so your child is doing some training, but they struggle to find time to get long extra workouts in, okay? Put a me or an ouch. Put a me or an ouch. All right, well, me right now because I only read one. All right, second one. Your child has some speed, but they are missing one or two things that can get them to really start running faster. Put a me or an ouch. Okay, I see the me's. Coming in. All right, cool. All right, your child is built to be dominant in their sport, but their body is growing fast and they're having a hard time adjusting. Me or an ouch. Okay, I got an ouch. All right, gives us an ouch. Okay, we'll be all right. We're going to be all right. We'll get rid of that pain. All right, your child is doing okay with some of your current training, but they still look awkward or funny when they run. All right, maybe a little athletic, unathletic, okay? Me or an ouch. Okay, cool. So I'm seeing the ouches. I'm seeing the me's. Okay, cool. So that means, listen, we're going to get rid of that pain tonight, and I'm going to show you how to do it through this system. Okay, cool. So let's get this computer to work. All right, cool. So my goal for this training is this. I'm going to convince you that the only way to get your kids to run faster in 30 days or less is through my Speed to Dominate system. And the only way to learn this system is to get the full transformation I just said is with joining my program, which is called Dominator Nation, and letting me walk you through the process step by step. Now, if I do this, if I convince you that my system is the way to go, which means I'm really going to have to teach on this call, okay? Really teach. I'm going to really teach here. Not going to just give you some help and maybe help you out and then that's it. I'm going to really teach you. If I do that, will you just agree to listen to my offer at the end? Is that fair? Is that fair? Put fair. Use your Twitter fingers. Put fair in the chat if that's fair. And I'm going to wait for you guys real quick. If that's fair. Is that fair? Okay, fair. We got fairs. We got some fairs. Okay, cool. All right. So let's jump back into it. All right, cool. So let's move. Now, listen, the strategy I'm going to teach you guys is the exact same strategy I use to help these athletes, okay? Those 14 athletes get those scholarships, the 5 kids ranked top 10 in the United States and winning multiple championships, okay? Jay says, Fair, how long is the presentation? Probably about an hour or so, okay? Or not the presentation. The presentation is probably like 10 or 15 minutes. This whole thing encompasses probably about an hour, okay? All right, cool. All right. It's the same strategy I use with Renee, guys. All right. Renee, whose daughter dropped 6 seconds off her time in just 2 weeks. Okay. 6 seconds off her time in just 2 weeks. And so we're going to talk more about her later, but this is the same thing that helped her. Okay. Now, I didn't just automatically know all of this stuff that I know now and that everything that I'm doing was going to be a hit with youth athletes. It took some testing. So the question is, how did I get here? Okay. The question becomes, how do I get here? Well, here's how it happened. Back in 2023, look, you can see this pretty little face. This is Khloe. Look at Khloe. All right, this is my daughter. Okay. Like, I knew she was going to be some type of athlete. All right, because she would run around my house. She would jump from the ottoman to the couch, and from the couch to the ottoman, and then she would jump off of one foot and land on the ottoman. And me and my wife were sitting there amazed, right? So I was like, okay, she's going to be a jumper, right? She's going to be a jumper for track because her daddy was a jumper. I was a jumper. I was All-American, won a national championship. And so I was like, okay, cool. So we're going to do this. I'm going to put her in track. But Khloe had a little problem. She was a little shy. She was a little timid. She was a late developer when it came to her speech. And so she was a little shy and timid because of that. And my wife and I really wanted her to come out of her shell. And we said, hey, track is probably the perfect thing. She'll get some friends. She won't have to be around the kids. A lot of kids that are talking to her. She's going to have to be talking, going to help her out, okay? So she started practice, and right away her coach saw that she had some decent foot speed. This is her first day of practice. Look at her. There, I got it right. I got all this good stuff on her, right? Okay? So I decided I would fall back from coaching and helping her because my wife wanted me to stay out of the way and let her coaches coach her. So I said, okay, cool. I'll step back. I'll let her coaches coach her. But we started to notice, me and my wife, because me and my wife were track coaches, and we also both ran track in college and in high school. And we used to sit right about here, and we used to watch, and we used to say, what are they doing? Okay, we didn't know what they were doing out there. Okay, they were just running specific. They were running. They weren't really working on her development. They were just running some specific distances just to kind of just get her in track shape. And I understood that, but she still needed some development. She was brand new to the sport, right? So then we saw that they spent more time on the elite kids and just left the developmental kids just to run random workouts. So Khloe wasn't really getting me better at anything. Can anybody relate to that? Can relate to that? You go to practice and you see your coaches out there, and the coaches are like, only dealing with the kids that they know are these are the playing kids, and the other kids, just put them over there, right? Can anybody else relate to that? I know I felt that, okay? But I knew that Khloe was better, and they just weren't putting her in the right place, and I knew that she had more talent, all right? But I wanted her to experience this without my interference, like my wife said, okay? Got to do what wifey says, okay? So one day she actually she dealt me one of the devastating blows that I thought I wasn't going to be recovered from, okay? One day before practice, I noticed she wasn't getting ready for practice. And I went to the room. She was sitting on the floor. I said, what's wrong, babe? And she said, Daddy, I don't want to run track no more. Of course, I was hurt, right? I wanted her to run really badly. And I was like, I think I really wanted it more than she did, right? But I asked her why. And her response was, I can't keep up with the fast girl, okay? And that's what me and my wife were afraid of. We didn't want to hurt her confidence. We actually wanted to boost her confidence. So we also knew that with her, not wanting to run because of this one little obstacle, that it could be something that could develop into a long-term thing, because she would grow up, and anytime something got hard, she would quit, right? So we didn't want her to do that. So that's when I had to step in. So Daddy got to step in and become coach, right? My wife gave me the green light. She said, go ahead and do it. Because of course, I couldn't see it. And I know you guys probably, if you guys were in the same situation, you don't want to see your baby out there with low self-esteem and lacking confidence. Look at her. This is the day she wanted to quit. Well, we got her out. We got her back out there, but it's all good. But look, so my wife went back on her statement, and she said, I've been a head coach at 2 high schools, And she said, you know how to train her, so let's go ahead and train her, and we're going to run her unattached from the team. And that's when I decided that I was going to put her through my system, okay? So, and I was going to enter her meets herself. So what happened was the coaches and everything, they were like, oh, you're just here to coach your daughter. You can't practice with us anymore. So I said, all right, let's go. So I knew I had to develop her first. So I started to teach her how to run properly because she was doing some things wrong. She was running on her heels and she was crossing her arms. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And so because she was doing that, guys, I took her out to the parking lot and we started working, okay? I took her right out here in the parking lot and we got to work, all right? So, but listen, guys, I was still a little stuck, okay? I was still a little stuck. And here's the reason why I was stuck, all right? Here's the thing. The problem I was having was Khloe was still feeling bad about her performance, okay? She was still feeling, she really didn't want to listen to her dad as the coach, okay? She's like, I want my coaches, and I want my dad, okay? How many of us can relate to that? Your kid really don't want to listen to you. Use your Twitter fingers. Type in the chat. How many of you really can relate to that? Like, my kid don't really want to listen to me, okay? I know somebody out there like that. That kid really don't want to listen to you. They Jay got a check mark. Okay, all right. So that's what happens, man. That's what happens. But we got over that, okay? We got over that. And then number two is we could be associated with the team, but we couldn't practice them, so we had to actually find time to practice. Now, I know you guys got to be like, oh, man, how do we find time to do this extra stuff? But we got over that. Like I said, I took her out to the thing. We actually started going to the practice field before the actual team got out there. So we had about an hour to work. So that worked out for us. But when we didn't really need that much time. We just needed to get in the pit so she could jump. All right. But like most of you guys, I wanted her to be good at what she does and build her confidence. But like I said, I figured that stuff out. I overcame those obstacles, and I taught Khloe how to run properly using my Harper method that's inside of my Speed to Dominate program that I developed over 14 years of coaching. All right, I use it with my older athletes from at the high school age level, to about 14 to 18 years old, and that worked. Of course, that worked, but I wasn't ready for how it would work for my 7-year-old. Okay, I wasn't ready for how it worked with my 7-year-old, and so listen. And in just 4 weeks, guys, she went from being a beginner to being ranked number 2 in the nation. And not only did she get faster, but she became one of the best, all right? So all in all, Khloe, she became a star. This is her pictures with, she's with an Olympic gold medalist here. These are her winning her medals at her events, okay? And the other kids, they start coming up to her. They start speaking to her. They wanted her to know if she was going to be at the next meet. They all wanted to be her friend. They wanted to run with her. They wanted her to get on their relay teams and all that different stuff. So, but most of all, guys, her confidence went up. I saw her gain confidence. And that's what me and my wife, we wanted the most, all right? She gained the confidence to go out and try something new. And then every time she went out to perform on the track, she knew she was going to win. All right. She had that confidence and knew she was going to win. And she fell in love with track. Okay. So that's when I started to say, hey, this could benefit more kids. Because I used it on the Sky High School level. I didn't know how it was going to work on a younger level, and then it worked so well. So that's when I started my speed training journey. I went to TikTok, and I started sharing my knowledge. My first video hit 1.3 million views, but I didn't believe it because I thought it was a fluke because it's kind of easy to go, viral on TikTok. All right, but on Instagram, oh, that's a different beast now. That's a different beast. So listen, I put out videos on that. My third video hit 1.7 million views, and that's why I said, oh, I got it. This is it. People need this. I'm going to step into this gap, and I'm going to help. And when I did it big, right? So listen, look at all the people that it was able to help, all right? My social media account started growing. I quickly started helping people get results. Not only did they get results, but they got them fast, okay? And we're going to talk about a few people who got them like really fast, all right? And so that's what I'm going to teach you tonight. The same system that I taught these guys that got them to get their results so fast, okay? Where other people are taking 6 months and 4 and 5 and 6 months to be able to develop this. We're able to develop this in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, less than 30 days, okay? So cool. So here's what your conflict may be. You may have this type of conflict here, like this might be your thing, okay? You need to know how to do this so it doesn't interfere with your current schedule, okay? You need to know what to do. Then we need to know how to do it so it doesn't interfere with your current schedule. And you probably also need to know how you can make this simple for your child without needing to have any type of coaching experience. Okay. Don't worry about it because I'm going to help you out. Okay. I'm going to help you out. Okay, cool. So listen, I figured that out. That's what we're going to learn tonight. But the question becomes this. Will this work for your child? I already told you it will. It will. So it's as long as you do everything that I tell you to do. All right. Now, there's 3 secrets to getting your child to run faster in 30 days or less. I'm going to give you these 3 secrets here tonight. So you guys can get your kids to start running faster, and you can duplicate this with your child, and so you can leave those slow times behind. How many of you guys are ready for that? How many of you guys want this right now? Use your Twitter fingers. Answer the question in the chat. How you guys are ready for this? All right. How you guys ready for this? Get your paper and your pencil, screen record, all of that good stuff. Okay. Yes. Jay says yes. All right. Good. All right. Here we go. All right. Secret number one. Speed is unlocked with proper running mechanics. Okay. Now listen, the way to get your youth athlete to start running faster, guys, is not by going out and running a bunch of wind sprints. It's not by going out and lifting heavy weights. It's not by going out and buying a parachute or buying a sled. Now, those things do have their purpose, and while those things are important, the most important thing that we miss is teaching your kids how to run properly. Your kids will start running faster as soon as they start to learn how to run properly. What happens is we put a lot of kids on these sleds and we put them on parachutes. And with people, I just talked to a guy today. He said, I went out and bought a speed kit and it came with a sled and all of this different type of stuff. That doesn't help your kid if they're not running properly. Okay, that you can actually start hurting them if they're not running properly when they're on those things. Those things are designed for people who already know how to run properly. Okay. Don't put resistance to improper form because it will hurt them. Okay. If you don't learn anything else, please learn that. Okay. So we don't want to go out and do all of these different type of things, get all these gadgets and gadgets, start doing plyometrics and start doing bounds and all this different type of stuff when a kid don't know how to run properly. They don't know how to move their body properly. So this is the first thing. Your speed is going to be unlocked with proper running mechanics. Okay. Proper running mechanics. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to get your athlete to start running faster without leaving your backyard, okay? Without leaving your backyard. All right, so here we go. All right, here's why not having proper running form has hurt your child. Reason number 1, because it causes injuries to the legs, knees, hips, and ankles. All right. Reason number 2, they get bad habits that are hard to break. We don't want them to, if your kid's in high school, your high school coach is probably going to have to try to break these bad habits, especially if they're playing something like any sport. Any sport, doesn't matter really what sport it is, even if it's track, they got to break these bad habits. The difference is your track coach may or may not know how to do this, but your football coaches, your soccer coaches, all those other coaches, a lot of them, they don't have a clue on how to break those habits. They just tell them to run faster, okay? They just tell them to run faster, do the drills, run faster, okay? So we don't want them out there hurting themselves more because running improperly can actually hurt them as well, right? Then number 3, it limits their ability to run faster, okay? Limits their ability to run faster. We don't want that. All right, cool. So the old way of doing things, getting some gadget or gadget to help with some sports training tool to help. Remember, we don't need that. Or running wind sprints for 2 to 3 hours a day. Or lifting heavy weights. We already talked about that. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to have a running form system to teach them guys how to run properly, all right? So I got this running form system. Let me tell you how I got this running form system, okay? How I learned this and how I tweaked it, okay? So I learned this from Coach Eddie Williams. This is Coach Edward Williams. This is like my second father here, okay, or my third father, okay, because I had a father and a stepfather, and here's Coach Eddie. All right, Coach Eddie is the head girls coach at Virginia Military Institute, which is the Division I college in Virginia, okay? Obviously, Virginia Military Institute, okay? All right, he was my high school coach. He had dynasty track teams, okay? In the 90s, we won 4 consecutive state championships, back to back, okay? Well, in four of those years, I should say, because it was 2. All right, so we had indoor and outdoor. We missed one because somebody put in the incorrect thing, and so we missed one because we had somebody running it doesn't matter. We missed one. We would have won if we had the right entry. That's the bottom line, okay? So, but he won 7 in his entire career. He hired me in 2009 to start coaching with him. All right, so he was eager to teach me how to coach because he knew that he was going to be retiring soon, and he wanted to pass the torch. So every day he taught me how to run the workouts, why we ran the workouts, the science behind running the workouts. He even taught me some intangible things that come with the profession, like how to deal with bad kids. Well, I don't want to say bad kids. How to deal with kids with bad attitudes and all that different type of stuff. And it was just great, right? So I learned from the best. They say the best learn from the best, right? So he taught me a special way that he taught speed. And we did that by actually backing off the speed, learning the proper mechanics, teaching the proper mechanics, and then adding the speed back at a later time. Now, it sounds kind of off. It sounds kind of off when you're talking about track, right? So you think when you start getting in the track, everything's about going faster, faster, faster. And here we are. As soon as we get in the track, we're slowing everybody down, right? Well, sometimes you got to slow down to speed up, okay? What did Fantasia say? Sometimes you got to lose to win again, something like that. What is it? How's it go? Okay. So it's kind of that same situation, right? We're not losing, but we're backing off, okay? And we're slowing down so we can get it right, and then we're going to speed them back up, all right? So I watched as he implemented this system in practice all season. And, of course, I started mimicking him with the athletes that he gave me to work with, right? But not only did I watch him win, but my very first athlete that I worked with, we won a regional championship. And then we went on and we won a state championship with our girls 4x4, which just torched the field, okay? Just torched the field, running 3:43.03 back in 2009. The team of Rashawn, Anise, Emmy, and Asia, my dogs, my girls, okay? Cool. So listen, not this time, 3:43.03. Okay, so a good girls time, like a good fast girl time is like 4:03, 4 minutes, okay? They ran 3:43, so they were among the nation's best. All right, among the nation's best in doing this, okay? Of course, they went to the nationals and they became All-Americans, okay? So listen. So here's the benefits of proper running. It unlocks the speed that the child already has, okay? It helps to limit injuries, and it helps gain speed fast in as little as 2 weeks. And these are going to be lasting results. Why? Because they get the information that they need to have, and the speed is not there because they push their muscles to a certain thing. They actually learned how to run properly. That helped them learn to run faster, and now they just add speed to it when they need to it, okay? All right, cool. So that'll make more sense in a little bit. All right, so here we go. Here's how to implement the speed to dominate system, okay? All right, step number 1. You guys ready? Get these screenshots ready, okay? Ready? Put it ready in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Here we go. All right. So step number 1 is we're going to slow the athlete down, and we're going to focus on technique. All right? Get your screenshot ready. Go ahead and get your screenshots. We're going to focus on technique. That's the first thing we got to do. We got to slow the athlete down. We cannot run them faster to teach this stuff. We have to slow them down. Now, I know, again, you guys might be thinking, you slow them down, that's counterproductive, but it's not. The paradox for everything almost in life. This is a principle of life. The more you chase something, the further it goes away from you. The more you attract it, the more it comes closer to you, okay? So we don't want to chase speed. We want to attract speed. I know that sounds weird right now, but it's going to make sense, okay? So here's this in plain in a plain way. Let me explain it plainly for you so you can make it so this can understand, right? So it can circulate in the brain a little bit, okay? So here it is. So when you are out running, if you are, especially in the, I'm just going to use track for an example because it makes sense. If you're out and you're running, and let's say you're running 400 meters, one lap around the track. When you get to that last 100 meters of that 400 meters, which is that last straightaway, when you're on the track, it is very, very hard to finish. And so what people like to do, they're trying to go faster, all right? And so what they do is they tighten up and they try to go faster, right? And they try to push and push and push and squeeze, and they're trying to chase that speed. And what happens is the more you try, and this is what running and everything, when more you try to chase this speed, the more you try to push to go faster, the slower you're going to go. But the more you relax and you let things flow naturally, God, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful principle here. The more you relax and you let the things flow, you let your arms flow and come up and drop, the faster you're going to go. Okay? So if you guys can relate that to life, like you guys understand, the more you push and want something, the more it's going to go away. But the more you relax and just let it come to you, it's going to come right to you and it's going to come in overflow. Okay, so listen, that's the first thing we got to do. We got to slow them down. All right, number 2, we're going to fix the 4 common running mistakes with specialized drills. All right, so you're probably thinking right now, what are the 4 common running mistakes that they're making? I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to give you that here on the next slide here. So just bear with me. So we're going to fix the 4 common running mistakes. All right, number 3, we're going to drill the athlete at least 3 times a week. Okay, at least 3 times a week. That's simple. All right, we're going to drill them at least 3 times a week with those specialized drills. All right, and then number 4, then we're going to add back the speed workouts to enhance the speed to the next level, okay? So we're not only getting one level of speed, because remember, when you fix those mistakes, those 4 common running mistakes, they'll start running faster. Then once we add speed to that, the speed workouts, that's when we can start adding in the sleds, and then we can add in the parachutes, and then all of the different things. Why? Because they know how to move their body correctly. So we're not setting them up for failure here, all right? So the reason why your kids are not running faster, it's not because they can't run faster. It's not because they're not born with the right genes. It's not because they are just can't get it, or they're just slow and there's nothing they can do with them. That's not the reason why they're not running faster. The reason why they're not running faster is because they don't know these 4 common running mistakes. And once they fix these 4 things, guys, I like to call them the 4 ingredients of speed, they will start running faster, okay? They will start running faster. So let's take a look at it. All right? What are the 4 common running mistakes? Here we are. Mistake number 1 is the arm swing, okay? Now, most kids, when they start running, they cross their body with their arms, all right? And their arms cross their whole body. They come from one side of the body to the other side of the body. Now, when that happens, those shoulders start to turn. And when the shoulders start to turn, guys, they start to step out. And when they step out, guys, they slow themselves down, okay? So that's called inefficient running. And so that's all that's happening here, guys. With your kids, they're just inefficient running. That's simply what it is, all right? So we got to fix those things, all right? So the arm swing we have to fix. So we can't have them cross the body. Their arms need to stay on the same side of the body. Go ahead and screen record, whatever you need to do so you can get this and keep this. Their arms need to stay on the same side of the body, all right? Don't have them cross over, all right? Keep those elbows down and not out, okay? I got somebody right now that's in my program right now. Her arms come out. They don't cross her body, but her elbows pop out, and so she's coming at her like a little curve, which we're going to have to fix that. So we're going to keep the arms on the same side of the body. We're going to keep the elbow locked, okay? We need to keep that elbow locked into a L position, okay? Keep that elbow locked into a 90 degree, and we're gonna come from the eye socket down to the hip pocket. We're gonna touch the eye socket, we're gonna touch the hip pocket, we're gonna keep that elbow locked so we can get a good arm swing, okay? Everybody got that? Are you with me so far? Okay, put a 1 in the chat, use the Twitter fingers, put a 1 in the chat if you're with me so far. All right, we good. Okay. All right, so mistake number 2 is the body position. This one is where you start to pick up a lot of speed, okay? All right, Jay says she's with me, okay, cool. So this is one where they pick up a lot. This is where we pick up a lot of speed here, okay? Is the body position, all right? The body position. Now, most kids, when they start, their body is in the wrong position. They're leaning forward, all right? Now, leaning forward, before I get, because we're live on YouTube too, so I'm pretty sure some people are going to watch this back, and I'm going to get the sprint police coming in and talking about that's not what you do. You're supposed to lean forward. Okay, so listen, the body position is leaning forward when they first start. That's fine, all right, because that's going to help them. They're going to use gravity to push them along so they can start getting up to speed. But once they get to a certain speed, they got to come out of that forward lean position and stand up tall. Okay. So the body position, a lot of the kids, they stay in that forward lean and they're pushing and they're fighting to go faster. Remember what I just told you guys about the more you fight to go faster, the slower your body's going to go. That's the paradox. The more you relax, the faster your body's going to take you, okay? So in order for them to relax, they need to stand up and relax, okay? Stand up tall, give a big chest, and tuck the chin. What I mean by tuck the chin is their chin is down and not pointing up or pointing at an angle or anything. Their chin is down and pointing straight down to that ground, okay? Not into the chest, but down into the ground, okay? Keep the head straight, in other words, okay? So that's it. So that's the body position. Get that body position to stand up tall, all right? So we're talking about, for the sprint police, we're talking about speed maintenance. We're talking about top end speed, getting the top end speed. You can't get the top end speed leaning forward. You got to get up. You got to stand up tall, okay? All right? All right, that's mistake number 2. All right, mistake number 3 is the knee drive. All right, now with the knee drive, here's the thing. Here's another reason they're going to pick up even more speed, okay? All right, so you guys can see as we start to do this, they're picking up more speed. Guys, this is a beautiful process. It is a beautiful process. All right, the knee drive. Most kids, when they start running, their knees, they don't come up high enough. They're at probably about a 45-degree angle. All right, now with those knees, they got to get those knees up, because if those knees don't come up, they're going to be taking a small knee, a 45-degree angle knee, and then guess what? They're going to be taking a shorter step. All right, and the reason why they're taking a shorter step is because of mistake number 2. Their body's leaning too far forward, and they can't stand up and start taking longer steps. All right, once they get their knee up to a 90-degree angle, they're going to take longer steps with less effort. You guys see how this is starting to come more, the smoke is starting to clear a little bit. They're going to use less effort because they're down, because in problem number 2, their body position is down, and so they're fighting to get to that, to take longer steps. When they stand up tall with their good body position, and then they get that knee up, they're automatically taking longer steps. So they're using the same effort or even less effort and covering more ground. Thereby, they're getting faster. Guys, this is the real logic behind this, okay? Every step they take, all right, they're gaining ground on their former selves if they were leaning forward. Guys, does that make sense? So if somebody beside me is taking a 1-foot step and I'm taking a 2-foot step, I would gain ground on the person beside me, okay? Every single step, right? So that's the purpose of getting the knees drive up to a 90-degree angle, all right? Is it making sense now? Is it? I love Martin. Is it swirling? Martin. Anybody remember that Martin episode when he was talking to Gina? He's like, "Is your head? Is it swirling?" All right. Anyway, I'm a Martin fan. Okay. All right. So, all right. Number 4 is the foot placement. All right. Number 4 is the foot placement. Now, the foot placement is very, 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 very extremely important, because with the foot placement, this is going to be the thing that's going to be able to push them off the ground every single time to propel them forward. Now, what's happening now is a lot of you probably are having the same problem. And then put a 1 in the chat if you've ever experienced this with your child, okay? They're landing on their feet. They're landing flat-footed, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if they landing flat-footed or they landing on their heels, okay? I deal with this every single day, okay? I deal with this every single day. Kids are landing flat-footed. They're landing on their heels. That's problematic for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that they're landing on their flat-footed or they're landing on their heels. It's going to cause injuries. All right? You might hear them come back to the house and they're saying, "Oh, my shins hurt." All right? Or my ankles hurt, or my foot's hurting, or my hips hurting. It's because they're running improperly. Their foot placement is really putting unnecessary stress on different parts of the body that don't need to be there. Okay? Now, I'm talking to you guys in layman's terms. I know industry jargon, all of the names and the specialized names, but guess what? Okay. If I say all that stuff, you're going to be wondering what I'm talking about. Okay. So I don't want you guys to think, what is he talking about? He's talking regular. Like, yeah, because I want you to understand what I'm talking about. All right. It's a lot of guys and women that get up here and they start talking about overpronation and underpronation and overstriding and overspeed and all this stuff. And you're like, what are you talking about? Okay. Like, they try to make themselves sound cool, right, with all these big words that nobody understands. Okay. All right. So Jay says, I have a flat-footed running baseball player. Exactly. Right. So listen, we can't have them running flat-footed, because they land flat-footed, they're going to cause injuries. All right. Knees, legs, hips. Okay. The other reason is because of this thing called ground reaction force. Now, ground reaction force simply means whatever force I give the ground is going to give me that same force back in the opposite direction. So it's like, I appreciate the lyrics there. You're welcome. So So that means, like I used to call it, and I used to tell my kids, equal opposite force, okay? It's the beautiful thing. Again, it's another beautiful principle that the Lord has put here for us, okay? Equal opposite force, okay? Myron Golden says, have you ever seen a one-sided piece of bread, okay? This is another life principle, and I love making the connections. It's so beautiful, right? So have you ever seen a one-sided piece of paper? Have you ever seen a one-sided piece of bread? No, because everything has two sides. Everything has a positive and a negative, okay? Even in life, everything has a positive and a negative, all right? Things that transpired in your life might have been negative, but there was always a positive side to it, all right? You didn't go to the prom with that girl that you thought was going to change your life forever, and so you didn't get the date, but you find out 5 years later that she is like just the worst person ever, and the man she married is miserable, right? And you're like, whoa, I dodged a bullet, okay? So while it was negative in the moment, she told you no in front of everybody, it's positive later on, okay? So I'm getting too far ahead. So equal opposite force. Whatever force I give the ground that positive force I'm giving the ground is going to give me that negative force back in the opposite direction, okay? So that means if I land flat-footed, I'm putting force in the ground going downward. The ground is giving me force coming back up in the opposite direction, okay? Equal opposite reaction, all right? If I land on my heels, I'm literally putting force in the ground at an angle. The ground is giving me force back into my body, all right? And so literally every time I take a step, I'm putting on the brakes. So we don't want to do that either, okay? So what we need to do is get them on the ball of their foot or on their toes. We say the toes, okay? A lot of people say, don't say toes because toes means on the toes, and that's not right. It's really the ball of the foot. Some people want to be just so technical, okay? All right? So I say toes. Why? Because the kids understand that. They don't understand ball of the foot. All right, so here we go. And other people want to be right because they just want to say the right thing, say the thing that's perfect. Yeah, it's cool, but guess what? Nobody understands what you're talking about, okay? So tell them the toes. Tell them to get on their toes. They'll get up on the ball of their foot, okay? So the ball of the foot on the toes. As they come down, guys, now as they come down, what we want to do is we want to put force into the ground. Which way? Pushing backwards, right? Because guess what? The ground is going to give us force coming back forward, right? So that means as we push the ground, we're going to push the ground away. As we attack the ground with the ball of the foot, land on the ball of the foot and push the ground away. And as we push the ground away, the ground is going to give you that force back in the opposite direction. It's going to propel them forward. All right? Cool. Everybody got that? So those are the 4 mistakes. That's how we're going to fix those things. That's what we need to do to fix those things, okay? Or that's what we need to do to correct those things, I should say. Okay? Now, we still need drills to reinforce this stuff, okay? You're still going to need some drills to reinforce this stuff, but at least you know this is what we do, okay? So this is what we do. This is how we fix that, all right? All right. Is everybody with me? Okay? Put a 1 in the chat if you're with me. Fire emoji, something. If you're with me, did you learn something? Okay? Did you learn something? Okay, cool. All right, good. Good to know. Great to know. All right, listen. So this is exactly what I did. Great. Everybody's with me. Great. So listen, this is exactly what I did for Khloe. All right. Her first ever meet, she dropped 2.44 meters. Now, the reason what the problem that she was having is she was landing on her heels and her arms were crossing her body. So what we did is we went in, we fixed that. That was the first 2 things we fixed. Guys, she went from jumping 8 feet to 10'9". She ended up getting first place in the Spring League Championships. That gave her a U.S. number 2 mark. And the reason why we know she got faster is because we had to move her back from 39 feet to 51 feet on her start when she was starting to jump into the pit. She was getting there too fast before her 7 steps. All right. She was getting there too fast. She was getting to the pit, to the sand pit too fast. So we had to move her back. All right. So that's how we knew she got faster. She ended up being number 2 in the nation, guys. And this is the exact same thing that you guys can do. All right. So listen, same thing for Fit Will. Okay. Okay. He got his kids faster. We use the same strategies. Okay. We use the same strategies with Fit Will. So, all right. So those are the same strategies that we use with him. Okay. So now you're probably thinking, great, Derek, I'm not a coach. So I don't know if I can help my child do this right. Don't worry, guys, because listen, secret number 2, you don't have to be the coach. You do not have to be the coach. All right. So here's what's happening, guys. All right. If you're trying to be the coach, here's what can happen. The kids, first of all, we already established the kids, they may not listen to their parents, okay? All right? You can start teaching an improper technique that can actually hurt them in the long run. And then you can put stress on the child, okay? So we don't have to be the coach. We don't even really want to be the coach, all right? So here's a quick strategy that I'm going to give you, okay? I'll give you again, guys, that you can use with your child that's going to help them, okay? So the strategy is this. The solution is help them feel it, all right? What is help them feel it? All right, here's how I learned this. All right, so I was with Coach Eddie. Coach Eddie came over one day, and I was teaching one of the kids how to do the triple jump. All right, and so what did I do? I did the very thing that I told you guys not to do. My very first mistake, one of my mistakes, early on as a coach. I got the boxes, I got the cones, I got all this stuff. Okay, Coach Eddie came over. He said, move out the way. Let a real coach come in here. Okay. So what he did was he put her down in the correct position. He told her to squeeze her muscles and say, I want you to feel how that feels to be in that position. So she said, yeah, I feel it. She's like, okay, now get up and do it again. She went up, she did it again. She did it perfect, guys. It's the same thing that I've been trying to teach her to do for like weeks. Okay. He did it in like 5 minutes. Right. So here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying to you guys to do really quickly is this. Help them feel it. So I've got the framework for here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put them in the correct position by following what I told you guys about in the first secret. All right. You're going to follow. Remember, we talked about the 4 mistakes and what to do about them. All right. So you're going to put them in that position. You're going to have them hold that position so they can feel what it feels like to be correct. Okay. They have to feel what it feels like to be correct. Once they feel it, then they can duplicate it. The muscle memory is going to start being there. All right. Then we're going to have them run in that position. And then, of course, we need to add the proper drills and the workouts to correct that position as they run. Because as they start running, what happens is things will fall. But here's the beautiful part of this, guys. You'll start to see them coach themselves. What do you mean, Derek? Let me tell you. You'll start to see them coach themselves because what happens is their body feels it, and they will come back. And Coach Eddie told me this too. And every single time I've worked with a kid that they were able to do it. Every single kid that I've worked with has never been a kid that hasn't been able to do this. They'll come back to me and they'll say, oh, my arm wasn't high enough. Oh, my knee didn't come up high enough. Oh, I dropped my head, or I dropped the arm. Like they were able to tell me what they did wrong because they knew what it felt like to be in the correct position. And that's the lost art of this stuff, guys. We're not teaching the kids how to be in the right position. We're teaching them how to be in the perfect position so they could be there and know what to do when it's time to actually perform. Okay. So we're going to have them run a position. We're going to add the proper drills so they can be in that correct position. All right. Now, this is what we did with Renee. Okay. Renee, she got the program, guys, and her daughter, they dropped 6 seconds off of her time in just 2 weeks. All right. 6 seconds off her time in just 2 weeks because Renee, she didn't know how to be a coach. She didn't know how to do any of that stuff. What she knew is she wanted her daughter to run faster. So she contacted me. We talked. I figured out what she needed. I sent her the program, guys. She got in the program 6 seconds off her time by herself. She wasn't even talking to me. She just got what I gave her I gave her the information. She knew what she did. She went and she did it. Daughter dropped 6 seconds off the time. All right. Same thing here with Ashley. Mom didn't know anything about running. Didn't know how to be a coach or anything. She was working with the videos that I gave her. All right. 9th grader, ran cross country, went from 1827 to down to 1749. So it works for long distance too. Okay. All right. So she said they've been working on correcting his form. He did a lot of heel striking. All right. We switched one thing, that foot placement. He just needed to know what it felt like to be in the right position. All right. And so it made a difference. Okay. That much of a difference, guys. That's almost a minute. I don't know if you guys understand what a minute in a distance race feels like. That's totally different. Why? Because it became a lot easier to run when you know how to run properly. Okay. It becomes a lot easier to run. Okay. I remember being in track. and learning how to run properly, and then going back to football practice, and coach would say at the end of practice we had to run 10 100s. Everybody's griping and complaining. I'm like, yo, this is the easiest thing in the world for me because I learned how to run, and now I use less effort and still faster than everybody. That's the beauty of this thing. That's going to be the thing that's going to help your kids succeed, okay? So now you're also probably thinking this, I'm not sure if my kids can get fast because they weren't born with it. We already talked about that, okay? We already talked about that. That comes from kids being born with what we call fast twitch muscles. So if you ever heard somebody say, oh, they're just born fast, it's because they were born with fast twitch muscles. Now, just because your kid hasn't born with fast twitch muscles doesn't mean they can't run faster. It just means they have to turn those slow twitch muscles into fast twitch muscles. And you can go and you can check the studies on this. Slow twitch muscles can be converted to fast twitch muscles. There's studies suggest that can happen, and it's been proven through research and all that stuff. And I don't have time to show you the research, guys. You can go do the research on your own. It's very simple. All right. So here's the thing. All right. He's probably thinking, Derek, look, great. I work a lot. My kid has a busy schedule. I don't have time to show him how to do all this extra stuff. Okay. How many of you thinking that? Okay, I know a lot of you are thinking that, all right, man, we got football practice. When am I going to have time to get, all right, football ended. Okay, we got basketball now. Okay, how are we going to get all this stuff with practices? And trust me, here's the secret, number 3. It only takes 15 to 25 minutes to see results. 15 to 25 minutes, 3 times a week is all it takes to see results with this, guys. That's the secret, all right? You don't have to be out there for an hour. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this, okay? Why training long can actually hurt. Because 1, you can overtrain and cause injuries. All right, we don't want to that. All right, get a guy out there telling your kid, hey, we're going to train for an hour, okay? It can cause injuries, okay? That's the same thing. What happens, they get better, they plateau, and then they start to regress if we train too much. Number 2, your child can experience burnout, and they won't be able to perform at a high level. All right, we don't want them to burn out. There's a balance to this, okay? There's a balance to this. So what I'm telling you guys is the stuff we've been doing for 15 years, guys, and it works, okay? Reason number 3, your child can actually get slower, okay? So what do? All right, we use the 15-minute rule, okay? So here, I meant to go to the 15-minute framework, all right? The 15-minute rule framework, 15 minutes extra 3 times a week on a consistent basis. It compounds, all right? We do it over a week, we get 45 minutes extra time, right? We worked on our sprinting for 45 minutes. And guys, listen, this takes less than 30 days to do. Only working 3 times a week for 15 minutes. I know you guys have that because your kids are scrolling on TikTok and Instagram for 45 minutes in between time they come home and time to go to practice, right? Even in the car, they're on it, okay? So they have 15 minutes. You can even actually do this stuff as a warm-up to your actual workouts, to your practices, okay? So it doesn't take a long time, guys, and that's the same thing we did with Saraphina. Saraphina, she was one of my 4'0", guys, 4'0", little Saraphina, 100 pounds soaking wet. As you guys can see her whole body fit into the picture here, okay? She set a county record and she ranked around among the nation's best. This is my very first county record in Georgia. I came from Virginia. I came to Georgia. This was my first year as a head coach, and she set a record in long jump, and she dropped from 12.22 in the 100 down to 11.88. All right. Set a county record. We had University of Virginia. We had all of these colleges. She got Georgia, Florida State, University of Virginia. She ended up going Kennesaw State, Troy University. She ended up getting a scholarship to Coastal Carolina. Okay. Full scholarship. Girl is a total beast. Okay. So here's what you learned. All right. We learned how your child can learn how to run faster in 30 days or less without leaving the backyard. We also learned how to get them to run faster without you having to be the coach. And then you also learn how to get your child to run faster without training for hours. I know everybody can appreciate that. But now you've been doing this on your own. It's now time to accept help and create lasting change. Okay? So here we go. We reached the spot. Can I take like 15 more minutes and tell you how I can help you overcome these barriers so you can get your kid running faster. Tell you how I want to help you implement this stuff so you don't have to do it alone. I just need your permission. Is it okay? Put yes, me, yes, something, yes in the chat. What we're going to do here. Okay? Can I get another 10 to 15 minutes? You got a yes? Got a yes? All right, cool beans. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Got yes. All right, so let me get this thing back up. All right, cool. Now, I didn't realize that was not coming up. It should have come up. Let me check YouTube for a second. Okay, cool. We got it. All right, cool. So, all right, so this is it. So what do we have for you guys? We have the Dominator Nation Speed Boot Camp. Okay, 6-week Speed Boot Camp. And this, what is this? This is the Dominator Nation is an online community that supports parents in helping a child to run faster. And we help them do that just by using my Speed to Dominate system, which is inside of the program. Okay, so who is this for? It's for parents and coaches with youth athletes who want them to run faster in 30 days or less without leaving the backyard, without having to spend a whole bunch of time doing this or that or spend a lot of time training, okay? So here's what you get in the program. You're going to get Coach Harper in the pocket is what I like to call it, okay? You're going to get Coach Harper in the pocket. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means you're going to get the Dominator Nation 6-week Speed Boot Camp, the weekly Q&A coaching calls, okay? So it's just like a call we're on now. You're going to be able to come on. We're going to be sitting kind of like a round table thing. I'm going to come in, I'm going to give you some tips and stuff, and then I'm going to start saying, what are the questions that we have, all this different type of stuff, okay? So you get that. You're going to also get the private text messaging group, all right? So you're going to be able to get in the text messaging group where you're going to be in there with a bunch of other parents. You're also going to have a direct line to me, so you're going to have your own little direct line that you can talk directly with me in that chat, like a direct message type of deal. So you'll be able to have a direct message with me. So you're going to put all of your questions in there. You're going to put all of your problems in there. Not your personal problems. You're running problems with your kids. Come on, guys. All right, cool. So you're going to put your problems in there. I'm going to talk through them with you and give you feedback on your kids running, give you feedback on your program, and all this stuff. So what program am I talking about? I'm talking about the personalized sprint program that I'm going to give you. Okay. So you're also going to get a personalized sprint plan where I'm going to be literally giving your kid the plan that they need for themselves based on their problems. Okay. That they're having with their running. So how am I going to do that? That brings me to the next thing. You're going to get a voucher for 6 running evaluations. All right. 6 running evaluations. If I were to do this, outside of this program, you just say, Coach, can you watch my kid? It'll be $75 each time you do it. Okay. Of course, it would come with some other stuff too, but $75. So I'm going to give you 6 of these at $75 each. There's a $450 value. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to do weekly check-ins. So that means in that private chat where you got that direct line to me, I'm going to be doing a voice message. I like to do voice messages. That's the best thing. So I do the voice message and I say, hey, this is Coach Harper. How's everything going this week? Send me some videos. Now, if I ask you to send me a video that doesn't come off your 6 running evaluations, I'm asking you to send me a video. You're just going to send me a video. That's on me. Okay. So, cause I need to see it. So I'm going to say, hey, look, send me your video. I need to see what's going on. You send me the video. I come back and say, oh, that looks great. Or this is what we need to do. Hey, matter of fact, let's go on to the plan. Instead of him doing this, let's do this instead. And let's do that for the next 2 weeks and see how it works. All right, cool. So that's how that thing works. You literally have Coach Harper in your pocket helping you literally walk your kid through a personalized sprint plan that works exactly for them, okay? It's not a blanket thing that we give everybody. This is specifically designed for your kid. You get me to come in to help you implement it. I watch them week to week to week, check in from week to week to week, and they can even come on to their weekly call, okay? So you're going to get the private text chat group with me, get a personalized sprint plan directly for them. You're going to get the voucher for 6 running evaluations. So whenever you feel like something is looking better or maybe not looking as good, you send it to me. I'll look at it and I'll give you feedback and tell you exactly what to do. Then you get the weekly check-ins and then the Q&A coaching calls, okay? All right. So how does that sound? Does that sound good to everybody? Sound good? Put a thumbs up. Any of that? Now, that's not it, okay? Because I know you guys needed something else. So what I'm going to do for you guys for free is I'm going to give you that Speed to Dominate running mastery program, okay? The running mechanics mastery program is a 7-module membership area where it has videos in there that shows you exactly what to do to get them to run properly. So if you, for some off reason that you're not able to get in touch with me, or sometimes you might be working at a different time, maybe in a different time zone, you got those videos there that shows them how to do every single thing that we talked about, those 4 things, how to do those things correctly. So you can have an instructor to instruct them on how to do that. Not just getting a drill that they can just follow, but telling you why we do this drill, how to do it, and, everything, how to, just explaining everything, okay? So in there, of course, the 7-module thing, this is the Harper system, the running mechanics. It's a breakdown. That's what I just told you about, all right? Also, on top of that, there's going to be the backyard workout video vault. That's another collection of highly effective workouts your child can do without leaving the backyard. That's going to help them get faster. Also, in that, I'm breaking down the drills that they do, okay? Because sometimes it takes a little bit of coordination to do some of the drills. So I break some of those drills down. The ones that are a little bit harder to do, they need a little bit of coordination. I break it down and make it easy for them to learn how to do those. So it's 14 different workouts in that. So you're going to be able to get access to that. So all in all, you got that Dominator Nation Sprint Boot Camp, which is an $878 value. That's everything that we had talked about before. Plus, you're going to get the Harper System Running Mechanics 7-module video membership area with the backyard workout video vault. And then on top of that, I'm throwing in 2 more bonuses that you're going to be able to keep even after the boot camp is over. You're going to be able to keep these, okay? The first thing is the injury prevention and mobility drills. All right, now we need those drills for mobility and flexibility so your kids can move correctly, okay? Whole thing about this is the thing that's going to help them prevent injuries, okay? Get the mobility, because what happens is the reason why kids get hurt and people get hurt is because they don't have the flexibility and the mobility to take on an awkward fall or an awkward step, okay? Your kids will have these abilities to do that, all right? Thinking about falling down awkwardly and you don't have enough elasticity in your muscles to take on a awkward fall, and then now you rip a muscle, right? With this, you don't have to worry about that because we're trying to do we're doing some prevention things, okay? So we're gonna do it before it becomes a problem, okay? So those are very, very essential. You're gonna be able to keep that even after the boot camp is over. So you have that for you, okay? You're also going to get the foot hurdle drills. Now this helps them get their feet up under them, okay? No pun intended, okay? So this is going to help them get their stride length correct. So when they're running stride, their stride is going to be efficient. So they'll be doing efficient running, okay? So this is going to help them lengthen it out, or maybe having to shorten it up, okay? So these things are going to get them be able to do that, and foot speed, okay? So it's going to help with foot speed too. All right, so those people who want those fast feet, that's what we're going to do. All right, so you're going to get that. You're going to be able to keep that after the 6 weeks are up. So you're going to be able to keep those 2 things after those 6 weeks are up. All right. Now, so here's the full package. All right, so you're going to get the Dominator Nation Sprint Boot Camp. All right, everything that we had talked about, the Harper System Running Mechanics, the Backyard Workout Video Vault. All right, the injury prevention and mobility drills, and the foot hurdle drills. Okay, so now this is a total value of $1,230. Okay, now listen, I'm not going to charge you $1,230. Not going to charge you that. Okay, now, but here's what I want to show you. I want to show you that there are people who actually have paid me $1,247 for this exact same program. Okay, as you guys see here, here's the person who made a payment in full. All right, $1,247. You guys can see it right here. So this is not a fabricated charge, okay? This is what we really do, and they really get results, okay? All right, so now if you don't think that one is good enough, let's take a look at another one here. Another guy, he had to split the payment up. Did $451, $797 on the next one, okay? $1,247, guys, to be able to do this with me. But I'm not going to charge you $1,247, okay? I'm not going to charge you $1,247 for this, all right? Now, So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Let me ask you guys this question. How much would you pay based on the transformation that you've seen that we've been able to get and seeing that package? How much would you pay for something for that package? Just put a number. I'm not going to hold you to it. It's not a trick question. All right. How much would you say it was worth? How much would you say it was worth? All right. Put a number in the chat here. All right. I'm going to wait for you on this one. Okay. You can put a number in the chat. I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to feel threatened either. Jay said $1,500. Okay. Now I'm not going to charge you $1,500. I'm not going to charge you $1,500. Okay, cool. So listen. All right. You're probably saying to yourself, Derek, look, I don't know if an online program would work for me. I kind of want to do it in person and stuff like that. Well, I want to show you a few of these people who have actually went through the program. And here's one of this lady. Her name is Prina. It's only about 50 seconds. So listen to her real quick.
Hi, my name is Prina, and my daughter Eve is 15 years old, and she has been doing the program here for a little close to a month. We were doing this in preparation for some lacrosse tryouts. She had been really discouraged and lost all confidence in her speed. She was consistently coming in dead last. She had a lot of nerves associated with it, and it just seemed to be getting worse and worse. She did the program. She made immediate improvements. That just continued. Her confidence went up, and she just found out she was invited to be on a premier team. She trimmed 5 seconds off of her time. She's thrilled. Seeing her face after that it's hard to describe. You could just see how proud she was, and this program really works. It's immediate, and it's more than just improving speed, it's just improving their confidence.
Okay, let's take a look at Coach Jeremy here. Coach Jeremy had the same kind of struggles. Listen to him.
Hi, I just want to come and talk about Coach Harper. I was struggling to get a couple of my kids to start dropping some times. Caught him on TikTok and started talking to him when he was on the live, when he was working with his daughter. I said, hey, go download my ebook. Gave me some ideas, helped me out. Four of my 400 runners, 3 boys, 1 girl, have started to drop times. And when I mean drop times, I'm talking like seconds. One went from a 1:02 to a 1 minute. One went from a 54 to a 53 and a half. One went from a 59 to a 55. The other one went from a 102 to a 59. So I just want to shout out to Coach Harper. His ebook does work. His stuff does work. So I want to thank him, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. So again, I want to just thank him, and I appreciate everything he's done.
Okay, cool. Judge just sent you a message here, and I'm gonna send you that here, Jake, just so you can have it. Okay. All right. Okay. I really would like you to stick to the end, though. I really would like to stick to the end. All right. So Henry, here's Henry before the program. Here's Henry running. All right. Henry had a lot of issues. Okay. You guys can see. You guys are experts now. You are able to see what was going wrong. We saw his arm crossing his body and all this stuff going on, flat-footed running, all that stuff. But here's Henry just 2 weeks into the program. Here's Henry now. Oh, he's better now, but this was 2 weeks into the program. All right. You see how much better he's gotten. He's actually looking like a runner. Okay, cool. So Henry, after just 2 weeks, guys, already seeing a bunch of improvement, okay, with his running. All right, now let's take a look at this. All right, so this is Lucas, his mom. I was talking with her She sent me a message. This is about 2 weeks into the program. She said Lucas is in black. He was up here playing soccer. This is a video, but this is a screenshot. He said his game looked a lot better. It was nice to see. I asked her in my message. See, this is the message system that you guys actually be talking to me on. And then she said it's been 2. I asked her if it was 2 weeks. She said, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Looking forward to what's next. So Lucas is doing amazing. We've got Amanda, who her daughter. She came in. She was really coming in last with these people, but she ended up placing 29th out of 88 when she was coming in closer to 88th. And so she had such an improvement, like her mom said, such an improvement with this. All right, so listen. All right, that whole program, remember, this is the program, the Speed to Dominate Sprint Boot Camp, Harper System Running Mechanics, Backyard Workout, Video Vault, Injury Prevention and Mobility Drills, and Foot Hurdle Drills, okay? So not going to charge you $1,230, okay, or $1,247. Not charging you that, okay. All right, but my team said we should do at least $627. All right, but of course I'm not going to charge you $627, okay. Now, that's not going to be the price. I want you to prepare to be blown away with what your investment is. Okay. All right. Well, look, I'm not even going to do this. All right. Let me tell you what. Normally, this program sells for $397. Okay. So when people come in here late in the evening, when they come in here before we do like 11:59 tonight, we only do one payment of $397. Okay. But I'm going to do something very special for you guys tonight because you guys are here. You guys took the initiative to be here. We're going to do one payment, all right? Before I hop off this call, if you can do this and move before I hop off this call, okay? Normally this is $397. If you can do this before we hop off this call, it'll only be one payment of $197 before this call ends, okay? Before this call ends. So if that's you, if you feel like this is the thing that can help your kid, $197, all right? The very first person that hops into this thing, and Jay, you got a you got a head start. But very first person gets in, guys. As a matter of fact, everybody, I'll do this for everybody since I had to send that to Jay. Everybody that does this tonight, before this call ends, I'm going to give you 2 extra weeks in this. So you're going to get 8 weeks. Everything that's in that package, 8 weeks for just $197. You can do it right now tonight. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I just dropped the link in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. You can go ahead and join this right now. If you do it before that call, $197. Okay, $197. That's it. There's no reoccurring payments. That's it. You're going to get 8 weeks. Okay, 8 weeks of this program for just $197. So if you're ready, the link is in the chat. All right, go ahead and click the link and jump in very first. Well, everybody that jumps in tonight before we get off this call, 8 weeks. 8 weeks with me. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. You don't have to do this alone, okay? You don't have to do this alone. You can be with me. I got you, all right? So when you get in, just type in the chat, I'm in. And guys, guess what? One thing I want to say, Jay said she's got to talk to her. If you talk to, what happens if you do, think about having to talk to, a spouse. Think about, you go to the spouse, what happened if the spouse says, I don't want to come up with the funding for this. What would happen to the kid? Are we still trying to get them to go to run faster so they can dominate the sport, or are we going to not do this and have the kid? Like, what's going to happen? Like, how are we going to get the results that we're trying to get? We know we want the kid to start running faster. We know they can get it done in 30 days, and I'm giving you 2 months. I'm giving you 60 days, okay, to get this right. All right? And so if we don't do it, then how's the kid going to get faster? Are we going to still continue to do the same thing we're doing, going to YouTube and searching YouTube? No offense to people who are YouTube watching. You might have put your foot in your mouth here. All right, but yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to start doing the same thing. Oh, we're going to actually get the work done. So we can actually go and, we can say, okay, maybe wait for another opportunity. Or we can just go and we'll do it. So there's 2 type of people, okay? There's 2 type of people. There's people that's going to complain about not being where they want to be, or they're going to be some type of people. They're going to be the people that actually take advantage and start doing the things that they know they need to do, okay? Because it's a good decision. It's a good decision, and the reason why it's a good decision is because we're adults, and when we have a problem, we find the solution to the problem, okay? And once we find the solution to the problem, and sometimes we have to pay for it. Like, for example, we take our car in to the shop. We got to find out what the problem is. We find out what the problem is. We have to pay for the solution or not. So what's the problem? What happens if we don't pay for the solution? Then the car continues to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's kind of what happens here. If we don't pay for the solution, like it costs you more to not pay attention to the solution than it does to actually pay for the solution. Like, listen, I had a car, it was a BMW 7 Series. You know, I don't know why I bought that 7 Series, because it had something wrong with the engine. I guess I just wanted to look cool in the 7 Series. But one day, you know, everything was cool with it. We got everything kind of straightened out. One day I was driving it, and then it was making this crazy sound. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this crazy sound. And I'm like, I know this is going to cost a lot of money. So I didn't get it fixed. But I called up and I said, hey, I'm hearing this sound in my car. How do I get this thing fixed? And the lady was like, oh, I was like, what is wrong with it? And how can it, like, you know, what's going to be? She's like, well, if it's making that sound, you need to bring it in immediately, because it could be something as simple, or it could be something really, really bad. But if you keep driving on it, it's going to make it even worse. I kept driving on it until one day I was trying to drive. I was dark, late at night, leaving somebody's house, get to a certain spot, and the car would not move. And I took it in, and when I took it in, the mechanic said, oh, you just needed some transmission fluid. He said, let me chew the transmission fluid. That usually clears this thing up. Put transmission fluid in. He's like, oh, nope, your car is locked, your transmission locked up. Had I had done it right then, it would only have cost me about $30, $40, $50 to get some fluid. Instead, it cost me $4,500 for a new transmission. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. We want to take advantage of it now and do it so we don't have to pay more later. Like, this could be the difference between not getting a scholarship and getting a scholarship. Would you rather pay, you know, couple $100 a month to get them some extra money doing it, or we want to pay $400,000 for 4 years of education? All right, so listen, it's 2 paths ahead. Okay, first path, of course, we don't continue out the same way. We're not going to do the thing. We're going to low, you know, kids' self-esteem going to be low. We're going to be investing money into training equipment that's not working. We're going to invest into teaching your child, but they're not listening. Okay, watching other people's kids make plays in the games and stuff like that. That's going to lead to frustration, and that's going to lead to like, oh man, I know my kid can do better. I know they can do better, right? But there's a second path, of course. Second path leads to your child actually building the confidence, going to games and watching them play and get more playing time, being able to see them make plays in the game, being able to see them enjoy the sport and be proud of their performance. And then their coaches notice them and have confidence to make them part of the game instead of just getting the required playing time. Okay, we've been through that, you know, on the lower levels. Once you get to high school, that goes away. Okay, on those lower levels, that's what happens. All right, but listen, this is not about me, guys. This is about it's about your kid. Will you feel like that it's worth taking a chance on your own effort? Because I'm literally laying out everything for you, and I'm going to be with you every step of the way. So here's the package. All right, the Dominators Sprint Bootcamp, you got that. All the things that come with that, the private chat, the personalized sprint plan, the voucher for 6 running evaluations, the weekly check-ins, weekly Q&A calls, the Harper System Running Mechanics program, okay? The backyard workout video vault, and your 2 free gifts, the injury prevention mobility drills and the foot hurdle drills you can take with you even after the boot camp is done. 8 weeks, guys. I'm giving you 8 weeks for only $197. Nobody else is going to give you this much information. Nobody's going to ever do this much work for you for only $197. Most of those programs are going to cost you well over $500. So this is a steal, okay? So what questions do you have for me? You can type your questions in the chat. What questions, if any, do you have for me at this moment? Just type your questions down in the chat. This is question and answer period time, whatever. So type your questions down in the chat if you have any questions. All right, so I can help you. I help you with those. All right. I don't know. One of the things is they say people ask me is, who does it work for? But it works for football, basketball, baseball, track, soccer, badminton. Can't forget my cheerleaders and my gymnastics. It works for all of those sports. Badminton, all those sports. Okay. It works for all of those sports. All right. It can work for ages 3 all the way up to ages 19. Okay. 3 all the way up to 19. So that's who it works for. Again, I'm going to be with you every single step of the way, every single week, working with you, tweaking your plans if I have to, and then implementing this thing with you. Okay. So again, what questions do you have for me, if any? Okay. All right. I don't see any questions coming in. So do you guys mind if I ask you a couple questions? Okay. So my question is this. What part of the program do you like the most? It's clear. Okay, cool. What part of the program do you like the most? Is it the building confidence or getting faster or both? Is it getting faster or building confidence or both? Proper form. Okay, proper form. All right, great. Now, if you had the chance to get this done and get the results that we're looking for, get them to run proper, right? Get them running proper, get them to run faster. If you had the choice to get this done sooner or later, would you choose later or would you choose sooner? Would you choose later or would you choose sooner? Sooner. Okay, great. How do you spell your first name? Let's get you signed up. All right? Let's get you signed up. Again, I'm going to pop that link down in the chat. Go ahead and click that link. Let's get signed up tonight so we don't have to worry about this, okay? So $197 tonight gets you in. You'll get access to this tonight, okay? You'll get access to everything tonight. You'll be able to Telegram tonight. We'll be talking tonight, all right? So go ahead and grab it. Your time won't start until Monday, okay? I will also say that. So I'm actually giving you a couple extra days. So your time won't start until Monday, all right? And then, we're going to chat on Monday. You and I through that messenger, okay? So let's go ahead and get signed up, all right? Okay, good. All right, so if you don't have any more questions, guys, I want you to have a great night. I'm going to hop off of here. Again, the link is there. If you need to copy and paste it, copy and paste it. But I want you to take advantage of this. Don't let it slip, okay? Don't let it slip away, all right? Get the help that you need for your child so they can start running faster, they can start building the confidence, and they can start getting more playing time and start making more plays and start dominating their sport, okay? 197 is a no-brainer, okay? It's a no-brainer for this. All right, so anyway, you guys have an amazing night. I will talk to you soon. And again, have a great night.